Alright, so we're back for another macaron recipe. Tonight's going to be salted caramel. This is one of the fan favorites out there. Everybody loves this one. So let's go. Make sure your scale is on grams. Put your bowl and sift on there. Zero it out. And we are going to start with... I food processed my almond flour just to get it a little finer. This brand I got this time is not the finest almond flour. So we remedied it. I'm tired. I can't talk very well right now, but you get it. All right, so 130 grams of this straight into the bowl or into the sift. 131, that's close enough. Okay, once you got all your almond flour in the sift, zero your scale out again, and we're gonna do 90 grams powdered sugar. $88.93. All right, cool. We're gonna gently sift all these ingredients together into the bowl. Gently just kind of massage the almond flour and powdered sugar mixture with your fingers. Don't press it through the mesh, but just give it a nice little massage. And then if you're left with that much stuff, that's perfect. Just dump that in the sink, and we've got our sifted ingredients all ready for an egg. Okay, now that we've got our sifted ingredients ready to go, it's time to crack our extra large room temperature egg white into the bowl. And we're going to separate it out here. It wasn't the most ideal crack, but that'll work. There we go. And then throw your egg yolk away. Now we're going to mix that egg white in real nice. Start with the bowl scraper. And then I always transition to just working it in with my hands, much like Paul Hollywood. Now time to work it with the hands. So just fold it over and press. Press, fold it over and press. Make sure you get all that almond flour and powdered sugar incorporated with the egg white. Once you've got that all incorporated, you're going to cover that with saran wrap and let it rest until you get your Italian meringue made to mix in with it. Okay, so now we're going to cover this and make our Italian meringue. To make our Italian meringue, we're going to start by cracking one egg white into our stand mixer here. Carefully separate that from the yolk. Extra large room temperature egg white. That looks good. All right. And then put this on the mixer. Put your whisk down so you're prepared to go after your hot sugar and water starts boiling to the right temperature. All right, we're gonna do a full 1/3 cup sugar straight into the pan. And then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of water straight in there. Perfect. Now we're gonna gently mix that around so the sugar and water gets incorporated together. And we've already got our heat on. I like to put mine at about a number 7 out of, I guess that would be 9 on there, wouldn't it? 7 out of 9. So medium-high heat is, I guess, what you'd call that. All right, so now that we're seeing our bubbles, boiling, we're gonna start our timer for 2 minutes. In about 1 minute, we're gonna start the mixer over here to start getting our egg whites going. Fluff those up a little bit before we add our hot sugar mixture here. Alright, so we've got about 1 minute left on our timer. We're gonna move over here, pop this on to level 6. Let that start we're gonna let that start incorporating some larger bubbles on a lower speed while this continues to bubble over here, heat up. It's looking good. Now we're gonna crank this up to number 8. We're gonna try and get that egg white a little bit frothy and white before we add this sugar mixture. Got about 20 seconds left on our timer here. There's our timer. Turn that off. And that looks like it's ready. Turn the stove off. Bring this hot sugar syrup over here. And as you can see, the egg white is nice and fluffy and white now. We're just gonna slowly add this down the side of the mixer here. You don't want to pour too fast, otherwise you'll start scrambling your eggs. You'll end up with breakfast, not dessert. A nice sugary scrambled egg. It doesn't sound very good, does it? Okay, the bowl is cool. It's been about 5 minutes. We're going to turn this off. And let's see how it did. Ooh, looks real nice. Got your stiff peaks like we like to see. Clean your whisk off. That's the dinner bell, so everybody knows it's almost macaron time. Okay, then we bring this over and we're going to incorporate this into our batter that we had covered over here. You're going to start by incorporating about 1/3 of this mixture in first. And that's just to get this mixture over here a little bit loosened up. So we're going to work this in. You don't have to be particularly gentle at this point. Go ahead and just smash it in and rub it around. Nice. Okay, now that we got that mixed in, we're going to add the other 2/3. And then this is where we want to be a little bit more careful and tedious with our process. We want to go around and through, round, through, round and through. You'll see this start lightening up and taking on a whole new consistency as you work it. Every once in a while you're going to want to scrape your bowl scraper off, clean the bottom of the bowl a little bit, and then go back around. Drop in a nice consistent flowing pattern. That's actually looking great. I'd say we're done mixing at this point. Now we're gonna add it straight into our baggie, our piping bag, which I've got cleverly suited into a cup here. So we can just scoop the macaron batter straight in. Bada boom. fill that cup up. All right. We're gonna pull our piping bag out. Fold the sides up. There we've got our macaron batter ready for piping. Okay, if you've seen my videos before, you know I don't bake on the right side of the baking sheet because of the lips here on the sides. Tends to develop hot spots and your macarons will kind of tilt one way or the other. They're attracted to the heat, so I like to flip this bad boy over and bake the macarons on parchment paper on the bottom side of the baking sheet. Gives you a much more even rise. Then we're gonna cut off the tip. I like to give it about a dime size hole. About right there is where I like to cut. Oh snap, that did not cut clean, but it's all good, it'll still work. All right, come on over here. And we're gonna do nice even pipes. Get your piping bag nice and straight up and down. Squeeze and swipe. Squeeze, swipe. Squeeze, swipe. Squeeze, swipe. Squeeze, swipe. And just continue that process all the way through. After you're done piping your macarons, some people like to drop the tray. I just like to get my hand underneath it and just burp it like you're tapping a little baby. Just get these little bubbles to burp. It smoothens is that a word? Smoothens? I don't know. But smooths them out, makes them look real nice. And then once these are dried up and you can drag your finger over the top of them without it sticking, you're all set to start baking. And you're gonna bake these 300 degrees, 300 Fahrenheit for 14 minutes. Okay, it's been an hour and I can rub my finger over the top of these really cleanly. It's not sticky anymore. It's got a nice crust formed on top. Don't be impatient with your macarons. Give them all the time they need. These took a full hour. Now we're gonna bake these at 300 degrees for 14 minutes. All right, timer's going off. Macarons should be ready to take out. Oh, those look perfect. Here we go. It doesn't get better than that. Absolutely perfect. All right, now we're gonna let those cool and we'll decorate them. We'll get to our caramel recipe for the topping and filling. Be right back. All right, now that the macarons are done, we're gonna start with our caramel. 1/3 cup sugar right into the pan. 1.5 tablespoons in the water. 1.5 tablespoons of water. And mix that around a little bit. Now the key with caramel is keep the sugar off the side walls. You got to keep your sides really clean when you're making caramel, otherwise that sugar is going to crystallize on these edges. That's going to cause you to have to start over. Okay, so in addition to your sugar and water mix here, you're also going to need 2 tablespoons of room temperature butter and then 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. Okay, once your sugar water starts boiling, you just want to wipe the sides of the bowl, wipe the sides of the saucepan with, just have a little tiny cup of water and a little pastry brush handy. Just keep those sides real nice and clean of sugar. You're going to want to microwave your cream about 30 seconds. Just get it to about room temperature so it doesn't shock the caramel and prevent it from cooking. Alright, so microwaved that for 25 seconds and you can see it's steaming. It's ready to be accepted by our caramel once our caramel is nice and copper colored. Still got a little ways to go. You'll notice it'll be bubbling a lot slower, and you're going to see it's going to turn the color of a new penny when it's ready. Then we'll add in our butter, cream, bada boom. And I think we're there. I'm going to pull this off. It's going to continue to cook a little bit while I add the butter in here. Stir that in. And go ahead and pour your cream in as well. Get that back on the heat. That's looking pretty darn good. And just continue to cook this until you're confident with the color. That's pretty good. I'm going to transfer that to a bowl. Okay, now before your caramel cools, I've already matched up the macarons that'll work best with each partner. You're just going to start with the top piece here. You're going to dip it straight in, pull it out, shake it off, give it a little shake, and then you've got a nice top coat of caramel on there. You're just going to continue that process all the way around. Bada boom. Okay, now that we got the top coat on there, we're gonna take I got a little pink rock salt here. I'm just gonna crack a little bit right over the top of each one of these. Not too much, you don't want them too salty. Just enough to where they shimmer a little bit. Just like that. You see that pretty salt sparkling on there? Doesn't that look nice? Alright, now for the filling, we're going to take that caramel that's left over and add a tablespoon and a half of powdered sugar to that. That was about a tablespoon and a half, it looked like. And we're just gonna whisk that into our caramel. That's gonna lighten this caramel up. It's gonna become a little bit more airy. And that is gonna be our filling for these sweet little mamas over here. All right, doesn't that look good? Oh, mama. Okay, now we got our piping bag here, outfitted around a Yeti mug. We're gonna go ahead and pour our caramel filling right in there. Now once this cools, it's actually gonna thicken up a little bit. Right now it looks awful runny, but after it cools, it thickens up real nice so it won't drip out of the middle of these macarons. And trust me when I say this stuff is amazing tasting. All right, pull that out of there, fold your sides up, and then you just gotta wait for that to cool. Okay, our caramel filling is room temperature now. It cooled overnight, and the only thing left to do is fill these bad boys. So let's get a small tip in our piping bag here, and we're just gonna give all these little beauties some insides. This caramel is really sweet, so you don't need a whole lot of it. And then, once you've got your caramel filling piped on all the interior pieces, you're going to take another little sprinkle of this cracked salt and just give it another little sprinkle right on top of the interior caramel. Not a lot, just a little. You don't want the salt to be an overwhelming flavor. You just want it to complement the flavor of the caramel. Bada boom. So, as you can see, not a whole lot of salt. All right, now let's sandwich these little buddies together. And bada boom. Pretty as a peach. And you can hear the dogs wrestling over there again. Hi. And there you have it. The lineup of the delicious beauties.